Lights, camera, action!
We're faking Sanity.
Hello.
Welcome back. If you've been here before, and welcome if it's your first time joining us. We're a little crazy. I'm Ange.
I'm Cindy.
Lou,
Oh,
and
yeah, sorry, I
that's
cut you
fine.
off.
We're faking
Ange,
Sanity.
not Ange.
Oh, yeah.
It's not an accent thing. Anyway, my name's Cindy.
I'm Ange, or Lou. We're faking Sanity. We run a shop in Dawson Creek, BC called Faking Sanity, and we do that most days, some more successfully than others. And this is a
you mean
knitting-
fake the sanity? I thought you meant run the shop.
No, we do that every day.
Yeah, it's Sunday. We're here.
And yeah, this is a knitting and spinning podcast mostly. And a
lots of
little
other
bit
things.
of everything else,
Yeah.
depending on what rabbit trail we take today. So yeah, you want to just jump in?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Whips.
Your sweater.
I have a sweater, and you'll
She
never
just
guess.
It was scary.
My yarn ran
Kind of
away.
creepy too. I have pretty necklace. It's needles.
Functional jewelry is all
Yeah.
the rage.
No, I always put my needles around my neck.
I have a
Or if I'm knitting with a cable needle, I'll stick it down my cleavage. Usually only at home. Not usually in public, but sometimes.
The trick
I have
to
a really
that
funny
is
story about
you
that.
can't do it in public because a friend of ours used to do that too, and it disappeared on her at midnight in Calgary.
I have a really funny story. I was going out to Edmonton with my mom last year. I was putting my cable needle there, and I forgot about it. We went in and had lunch, and then I went to the washroom after lunch, and I looked down, and it had fallen through and onto the floor. So I washed my cable needle. And anyway, yeah. So
special.
how are you guys today?
I have an Aden sweater.
It
and
is so pretty.
It has grown lots. You can't see because it's stockinette and it rolls, but it's now down. I've finished the bust shaping and the waist shaping, and I'm up to the hip increases now. And I discovered something horrible. So this is the Aden sweater by Ankestrick. I love the pattern. It's super easy.
Nice
It's pretty yarn. It's Ella Ray Lace Merino DK in the 901 navy colorway. And it's going to be fabulous to wear. I'm going to love this. However, you know when a pattern's so easy you don't need to look at the pattern? Yeah, it's not a good idea. Because
Had she screwed up?
the outside of the sweater is stockinette on top and then reverse stockinette on the bottom. And so that you don't have to purl, 45 inches around in DK weight, you turn it inside out and you knit it. Except that I wove in all my ends and changed my balls so that the ends were most obvious on the outside, which happened to look like the inside because you're knitting it inside out.
Yeah.
But it's really, really obvious.
Yeah,
So
it
the way
kinda
I
is.
did because I'm alternating skeins because it's hand painted, so you don't want to make that an obvious line break when you change balls. So rather than do change the balls on a straight line, like under your arm or in the center back, there's a way you can do it by jogging it a stitch every row that makes it completely invisible on the outside, which is great. And I've done it before and it works great. It is not so invisible on the inside where you get these tiny little one-row floats, which is the outside of my sweater. And I did it all the way through the reverse stockinette section.
Silly.
So I'm going to be tearing back 8 inches of knitting.
Oh, that really sucks.
Yeah. But you know what? It's not going to be a summer sweater. It's going to be a fall sweater anyway
Yeah.
because it's going to be too hot. It's hot here today. Have we mentioned that we hate weather?
We hate weather.
Just period.
It's either too cold or too hot.
Yeah.
There's not enough spring or fall.
Yeah. It's too hot
Yeah.
today. It's like 30 degrees. Like it's almost
What's
90.
that in non...
It's almost 90.
Non-actual... Okay.
Yeah.
Which...
Almost 90 is almost hellish.
And if you don't have an air conditioner, because,
Yeah.
we have central heating.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway,
So-
I love this sweater. I'm going to have to frog
Yeah.
a ball and a half of yarn.
That sucks.
But
That really
I'm
sucks.
going to love it when it's done.
Yeah.
So I'm totally going to frog it and come back to it.
I have to not say yup or yeah all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yarp. You could say yarp.
Yarp. Okay.
For the Simon Pegg fan among fans.
Fan. Just one. I have a whip too.
Yeah.
So I was knitting a very, very long tube of socks. And then
It's a broken
so it was like
tube.
it was very long. It was a very long tube.
This
And
was
then-
the shot from last episode, actually, I think, with your sock like that.
No, well, yes, but it wasn't. It was only about that long at that point. So I did it twice that long. And then Thursday night, I cut my socks apart.
Yeah. At
It was
midnight.
great. It worked really well. I was very impressed.
Yeah, the ladies were like, "You're just gonna cut it? What's gonna hold it? What happens if you drop a stitch?"
So I took smaller needles. I took some zeros and wove through on either side of where I was going to cut. And then I just snipped and
unraveled
it, and it worked perfectly. And then I just put them on to do 2 at a time toes. Except I wasn't planning on doing 2 at a time, so I didn't prep a ball. So I did from the inside and the outside of my ball. Never let me do this again. It's driving me nuts.
Yeah.
I have like this tangled mess of a... Anyway, I'm almost done the
same.
I'm almost done the toes, so that's cool. And then I'm not sure if I'll have enough red for the heels, but I have some black, which I think will look really good as well.
You have more of the stripy yarn.
I do,
too,
but I
right?
don't want to put the stripy yarn in the heel.
Could make a cool bullseye.
Nope.
She doesn't want a bullseye on her heels.
Nope.
Craziness.
So yeah,
I think it would look good with the black or the red, whichever.
I am really loving them. So, the yarn is Sock Monkey by Yarn Enabler.
I love the sock monkey. It's so
I just
cool.
dropped my red.
You went out of frame and got all bright again.
Oh, sorry. Okay. I
Yarn
love
Enabler?
it. It is fabulous, fabulous yarn.
It is.
It's so soft. And yeah, I just love
and it's a
the
perfect
self-striping.
gray and a perfect red. Like,
It is. Yeah.
perfect.
And it came with a little mini of red. And I really love it. And I did the cuffs in red as well, which is probably why I won't have quite enough for heels, I don't think. I'll weigh it. We'll see. Yeah. But yeah, I'm really loving it. I don't have a pattern. If you're interested in doing this kind of thing, there is a pattern called the Afterthought Everything. Mm-hmm. I don't know the pattern designer because I'm not using it. But yeah, I mean, there's a couple other patterns like that too. But that one does this exactly. So yeah, and I love this. I think I might do that with any self-striping.
It's really cool.
Because the self-striping keeps me interested enough that I don't mind knitting
A giant tube.
a giant tube.
A sock snake.
A sock snake. Oh yes, last time I did the Snuffleupagus warmer.
Yeah. It's a little too short now.
No, it's about the same length as last time. Okay, so that's my whip. That's my only whip. Because I was really intent on that. And some other things that I actually have in the FOs.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I went really white again.
Yeah.
I am really white.
She is. She's almost see-through.
I am. Purple veins. Okay.
I have a whip. It is our Faking Sanity our Faking Sanity Impulse DK weight in the Cure for Death by Lightning colorway.
I was like, Death by Cure for
So it's
Lightning?
like a pale creamy gray with flashes of yellow and black, which you can't see a whole bunch, and a tiny bit of teal.
Yeah.
And I'm knitting the pattern. So I went online to look up the pronunciation of this, so hopefully I don't butcher. No, I found one afterwards.
Oh, did you?
Yes.
Okay.
It was on a hockey webpage because it had all the Finnish names, how to pronounce Finnish names. It is the Kaarre pattern. It's a hat.
Did they roll their R's?
Yes, if there are two, it's rolled.
Ah.
Kaarre by Maria Kostomovaara. And this is the pattern. It's just like slipped stitches that slipped stitches that kind of go in a diagonal around the hat, and I really love it. And I think it's perfect for a light speckle like that. So, so I'm really enjoying this. This is what I'm working on. This is what I picked up when I realized I had done all my ends visible on the wrong side on the sweater, and I was like, nope, I need a break. I'll come back to it tomorrow. So I picked up a new hat, and I think it's a great fit for this yarn, and I love knitting with this yarn. I really like the Impulse.
I know.
Yes.
We're like gushing about our own yarn line, but
this isn't my colorway. I don't really like light colors, but I'm really loving the yarn. But this will be the second hat in our for me, in our charity knit along. I said I'd make sure I had at least 2, and I've finished one, so this is the second one.
I haven't done anything for the charity knit along.
You'll
I know.
get there.
I know. I
There's
have
still
2
some
weeks.
time.
I have 2 weeks left. That's plenty of time for me to.
Yeah. So yeah, we're running a charity knit along. If you hadn't
make along
watched-
because
make along.
I'm not going to knit them.
If you didn't catch the last episode, any charity knits for any of your local charities or charities that you
Doesn't have to be
support
local.
nationwide
Yeah.
or whatever, whether it's, hats for the local cancer ward or baby hats for the maternity ward or blankets for pets at the local SPCA or
Knitted knockers
hats
or
for soldiers,
tidbits, or-
tidbits, yeah, whatever it is. Anything that you want to support, if it's for charity, you can enter it in our charity along and we'll have a draw at the end. Obviously ours won't count, but we'll post them there
Yes.
anyway.
Really, we will.
If we knit some.
I will. Well, I had one already. I just have to
Yeah.
take a picture. I showed one last week.
Yeah. So that was the
Oh, and they don't have to be started in June.
yeah, you can
Just finished in
Just-
June. So if you have something languishing,
just
finish
finish
it
up.
off and yeah.
And you can totally double dip into our Knit the Alaska Highway now.
Or any other whip that works for.
Yeah, so go ahead and include it in both threads and you'll get your name into the draws for both. And we'll be updating actually the Alaska Highway mal on the Ravelry group
Yep.
this weekend.
gotta get a total.
Just tonight we're going to add up all the mileage and see where we're at. 'Cause I think we're probably getting close-ish to a minor draw.
Really?
I think so. Possibly. We'll see. I think it's time to check.
Don't think she knows how far apart things start to get as you go up the highway.
I think we're close to a minor.
Okay, we'll see.
So
we will see.
Anyway, enter your stuff into the cal. Get
Yeah.
your pictures in and your mileage in, and your name will be in on the draw.
Yeah.
So
Okay, so FOs.
yeah, that's you.
I made socks. Lots of socks.
She made so many socks.
Okay, so last week I had shown off this one, and it was just so much fun that I just kept making sockses. Sockses.
But people might not remember it because it made an appearance as an
It was a horn
Edmontosaurus horn cozy.
Yes. Yeah.
It's a sock.
So the pattern I've been using is an Oddness of Socks. But then I decided to try the fish lip. Oh, Oddness of Socks is by Leanne Holmes. It's just the little mini sock pattern. And then I decided to put fish lips kiss heel in them because I thought I'd try it out. And that's by Patty Jo White, or Socks Therapist. And it's fabulous. I see why everybody loves it. I haven't actually knit one in a sock, so I don't know how well it fits. But it's so cute in little mini socks. Anyway, so this was the first one after that, and this is Hat Trick Pittsburgh. Yeah, the yarn is Hat Trick. Yeah.
And Hat Trick is by Ancient Arts.
Well, it's a River City Yarns exclusive.
But
But
dyed
by Ancient Arts. Yeah. And then the next one, oh, we got in some Sea Turtle fiber arts this week for the store and for me. So the first thing I did was grab a ball of It's a Fin on Ridley Scott. It's Ridley Sock. Why I keep saying Ridley Scott?
Because
He's a director.
yeah.
But yeah, Ridley Sock. It's a
Which
fabulous
is it Ristolainen or is it Kapainen?
It's a
Missing
fin.
hockey players.
Oh, no, it's a fin, like there's a fin coming out of the ocean. Anyway,
Okay.
so I made a mini sock out of it immediately, and it's so cute.
This one's my favorite, I think.
Oh, I just love, and I mean, I can't wait. I'm gonna make socks out of it.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to see how the little flashes show up in socks.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we
Like
got a
in full
bunch.
size.
Should I talk about that we got the bunch for No, I was
No,
gonna
that's
talk about
coming
mine.
later.
Okay, anyway. So yeah.
She doesn't
It's
follow
a
the
fin.
outline.
Outlined.
The outline.
Yeah. So yeah, that was the next one I made. And then last night, one of our favorite customers lent me a needle. We've been talking about needles a lot lately. And she bought these at in Edmonton. I don't know if she bought them at Fibre Fest or when she went to River City Yarns. But they are Chowgu red lace minis. Not shorties, but minis.
They're the ones that are thinner, like they have the thinner cord.
They go
and
down
everything.
to the 000.
Yeah.
This is not. This is the biggest in that set. It's a 1.5, which is a
2.75?
No, 2.5 millimeter.
2.5 millimeter?
2.5 millimeter. Anyway, she was like, try them out. I think she wants us to get them in.
Cindy fell in love.
I fell in love. Okay, so the tips are tiny. Actually, I can show you against the knit picks. And I still like the knit picks. But, like, oh, I don't know if you'll be able to tell.
So the one closest to my face is the
Chowgoo, and this one is the knit picks. Yeah, sorry. Okay, tips are tiny. They're stainless steel, so they slide just as much, because I really need that.
Yeah.
And then the cord is a steel cable wrapped in
nylon.
Okay. And it's like, okay, so it's really flexible. It's about halfway between the soft cords on the collage and knit picks ones. And it's amazing. I really love it. I did magic loop. I'm like, I did that
I don't know.
that
You
I can't
did
remember the name of.
Stabbing me thing?
Yep. So I used the new needles to knit some of the Biscotte Bis-Sock in.
Oh, Lila et moi.
Lilacs and me, but all their names are actually in French. It's so cute.
It is.
Yeah.
And she did little hang tags on all of them, so we're going to do a little garland. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now I'm going to, and I was like, okay, I'm really enjoying this. I'm like, okay, maybe it's the whole doing magic loop, whatever. So I'm going to try doing a mini sock in magic loop on knit picks
to see
what
the differences are while you're using it.
Ooh. I really like them. And we found out that we can get Chowgoos.
Yeah, from one of our existing suppliers.
So
we might
just be the needle store.
we
might get
bring
some
in
sets.
some
Yeah,
sets.
probably not individuals, but
Yeah.
I'm pretty excited. I quite like them.
Our wall is pretty full already.
Yes, our needle wall is very full.
We did get in some new needles, though. We did bring in, so we had gotten, the first time we got the collage needles, we got one as a sample just to have out. And then we ordered some sets, and they sold out. So we got some more.
And they sold out.
Like, we're not talking lots. We got like 2 or 3 sets.
We got 3.
And then I like them so much that I bought one, so we still only had 2. But we got a few individual ones with the soft and firm cables, so people could try them without a huge investment. And so now we've got all the knit picks, and then a fair selection of the collage needles with both the soft and firm.
Yeah.
And we might get in these, especially in the smaller sizes. And we found out one of our other suppliers, we can get the jumbo sizes of needles from.
That's a maybe
So
supplier.
that's a maybe. In the fall, we're going to meet with them.
So, yeah, we're getting all sorts of fun stuff.
Yeah, it's so fun. Expanding the yarn has been so fun for us.
It really, really has. I mean, not just having all the yarn, but just not having to serve people lunch anymore. I'm not a waitress. I'm not a good waitress. I'm a fine salesperson. I'm not a good waitress. I'm warm. The fan's not.
It's because we're hidden.
No, it's blowing right on me, but she wouldn't let me turn it up as high as it would go because she thought it'd be too loud.
But
what's next?
FOs.
You have a FO.
I do have an FO.
FO.
I said I would have it done this week, and I have it done this week. It's I should turn it the way it's supposed to be. It's the Sockhead Slouch Hat by Kelly McClure out of Bis-Sock in the Tangfish colorway. Exactly according to pattern, but 1.5 inches shorter because I have a tiny head. But then I decided I'm going to knit another one for myself with a garter brim instead. So this one's going to be for the charity along. So I posted it in the charity along already. But I really like it.
I love
the bullseye. Yeah. It looks really cool, especially when it's slouchy. It just sits like that.
Yeah.
But I really like the stripes this way, like the reversed stockinette stripes. I really love it.
I say I love it.
Yeah, so that's the first one in the charity along, and it's my only FO this week. Ah, it's a sock dinosaur!
There's a Susan Anderson dinosaur pattern that I wanna make.
You've been into her.
I haven't made any of her stuff, but she just did a new dinosaur pattern, and it's really cute.
It is.
I don't have anyone to make toys for.
You do.
No, my niece. I don't know.
She's not into them.
If I could make Paw Patrol, she'd probably be happy.
Put it away.
Put that thing away. Okay.
That was a reference to one of our favorite comedians, Ed Byrne, who's fabulous.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway, that was my FO, and then we have some stash acquisitions this week too. So she alluded to the first one already.
Yes, we got Sea Turtle in. So we got it for the store, and I got some for me too. So yeah, we got the Ridley sock. Ridley sock, I did it right! In a bunch of the, I can't remember what she calls them, but this style with the like
The rainbow
semi-solid,
flash on
and then
the
the
end.
like flash on the end. So these, and then one that's not rainbow on the end, but rainbows are excellent. So they're so pretty.
Yeah, and we got a bunch of colorways.
Got a bunch of colorways, and we love it. And then I also ordered, because we were ordering wholesale from her, but then we were looking on her retail site. And was like, oh, I want that. I want that. So we ordered retail as well. And I got a whole bunch of minis. Okay, so they were just random mini sets. And
we got 3 bags of 12 times 100 gram minis. 100 yard minis.
So they were kind of, most of them like 25 to 29 grams. And we sell minis here of 20 gram minis. So I made myself mini minis. So I took,
we split the cost, so the store got some and Cindy got a bunch.
Yeah, so I put a bunch of...
You love the mini projects.
I love mini... Well, obviously. Mini socks.
I just don't like the finishing on mini projects.
Nah.
But
Anyway.
I did take 2 of the grays home because they were beautiful, and I've been feeling the grays lately.
And she's been feeling the...
Oh,
fluorescents.
Yeah.
Oh, these are great colors. These are just amazing.
I want...
Yeah.
These together. Wow, that really blows out on the screen. It is that bright. Actually, that's just about right there. That's actually the color.
Yeah.
It's
so
amazing.
I put 20 gram minis into the store and I took the rest. And so there was some on the sparkle base, which is, it's got like lots of stellina.
It was 16% stellina.
It's great.
Really high.
It's really nice. And but
not
it's still
scratchy.
Yeah, it's not scratchy at all. It's great. And then she has an MCN called Snapper.
Snapper sock.
Which is excellent. And then a whole bunch of Ridley. And they're so pretty.
I want to knit some socks out of the Ridley. It's an 8-ply yarn. Like 8-ply is not really common. Most commercial yarns are 3 or 4, but 8-ply will last forever, I think. And I'm hard on my socks, so.
So I have tons and tons of minis, which make me really happy. Yeah. And then,
More fluorescence.
More fluorescent. All sorts of fluorescence. Okay. And then you got something from Sea Turtle as well.
I did. I was being good at the Fibre Fest and didn't buy any fiber.
That's not true, you bought fiber.
I didn't buy, I bought some alpaca silk. But I should have taken this out of the bags first, sorry. When we were ordering anyway, I ordered 2 braids of Merino from Sea Turtle.
It's awesome.
So this is Tranquility, and if it looks rather large, it's because it is. The price, I didn't even look at the description that closely. So when I saw the price, I was like, oh, it's 100 grams cane, or 4 ounces, but right around there. No, it's 150 grams.
They're
her prices are amazing. So this is the Tranquility, and this is Tranquility as a gradient. There is green in here. It's mostly on the inside, and there's a little bit less of it. Every skein is a one-off, but I'm going to use these together, I think.
That's gonna make
but I was planning on that, like 1 ply each when I thought they were 100 grams, and then I'd have like 2 skeins as a gradient, and now I'll have 3 skeins as a gradient.
Yeah.
So it'd be good for one of the bigger shawls if I do it like in a DK weight and do like a big cozy shawl. So
that'd be pretty.
I think that might be what this becomes. I'm not 100% sure yet, so plans may change, but it's so beautiful and the fiber is so nice and the colors are so vibrant, and we were so excited about this that we had asked her if she sold fiber. I said her. We asked Sarah if she sold fiber as well, wholesale, And she got back to us and said, yes, I do. And so we placed another order, and she's got Targhee, which is like,
Okay.
I love
She
Targhee.
got the email. She's like, Targhee, Targhee, Targhee. And we're all like, hi. She's speaking a different language now.
One of our staff thought I was extra crazy that day. But yeah, so we ordered a whole bunch of Targhee and some blended fiber mini bats, or mini bumps.
Mini
That
bump.
are like mixed bags. So,
Mini bump is a great word.
Okay.
Or great term.
okay. Yeah, so
A
we got...
bump. A bump of fiber.
We didn't get tons of fiber. We got 10 bumps of the fiber of the Targhee, and then
Lots. 30.
10 bags of the mini bumps.
Something like that.
So, like 30 little 50-gram mini bumps. She's crazy. Anyway, I'm really excited.
Yeah.
The first 2 Targhees are coming home with me.
What a shock.
Sorry.
We get
you
stuff
won't-
in and it's
you won't get
immediately
to
like,
see-
I'm taking
you
it
won't get
home.
to see all 10 because 2 of them are coming home before they ever make it to the store. So,
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm really excited about that. What else? Oh, you were going to talk about your...
No?
Yeah,
This.
we're in stash.
Addie.
Oh, yes.
Addie.
Oh, yeah.
So, we got something big. It is a king-size, Addie king-size circular knitting machine. I'm just testing it out. We just got it, so, you know, I'm testing it out to see how well, and I'm just doing a flat piece, but then I, you know, dropped some stitches
You're
and
off
missed
frame.
it. Yeah. But yeah, so I'm just doing a flat piece right now. But we're gonna use it to make sock blanks.
Yeah. So she's using our Briggs and Little, like,
Heritage.
errant bulky weight heritage.
No, it's worsted.
Oh yeah, it is.
Trust me,
Yep.
it's worsted. I've knit with it.
But she also tried it with some, like, 2
Sock-
strands.
yeah,
So
sock-
we're gonna try and do the 2-stranded double sock blanks. And I'm having so much fun. Some of my stamps have come in, or stencils for stamping, and I've got some ideas for painting some too. So
Yes, so I'm
Very
going to
excited.
crank up some blanks for her, and she's gonna dye them.
very, very excited.
I'm very excited.
Yeah,
It's pretty cool.
it is. Speaking of dyeing, I've been doing some more of that.
Yeah.
Because it's getting... we told everybody it'd be cooler this summer because we're not running the oven all day.
And she's been running the oven all day.
Running the oven and stove all day dyeing. Would you put that thing away? So I did a few more in the same style that I had been showing before with the, like, 2 colors that fade into a gray. Actually, I really like this one. It was an accidental, so it'll be one of the one-of-a-kind distraction colorways. I don't know if you can pick up the little blips of blue on there.
They're pretty hard to...
They're pretty subtle, but you can see kind of little blips of blue, and I loved it so much. So I'm going to try and dye this one again, but I didn't write down exactly what I did on this one. So there may be something similar, but not quite exactly. And then I dyed some on our new base, another base. This one's a Merino bamboo nylon. It's still got another dip in the dye bath. This is partway
Yes.
through.
Yeah.
But I actually kind of like it with the coral and gray. But it's got some more. And then I've been dyeing up for our rainbow sets. Oh, that's going to blow out the screen. Yeah. So today I'm doing the
pride
blue
sets.
and the purple. But we're going to have some pride sets before the end of the month. Hopefully by next week we'll have the whole sets ready to go.
And then you gotta start on some other prides.
Yeah. We're going to do a whole bunch. So these will be just the generic rainbow. And then we'll have some, like, ace and trans and non-binary
pride.
and
Oh, by pride's
bi.
good colors.
Yeah.
Excellent colors.
Anyway, I really like this green. I
Yeah,
love
it's a
this
good green.
Yep. I didn't like either of the greens I got, but I found a nice recipe for a green that I loved. Would you put that thing away?
I'm sorry. It's fun.
She's crazy. Sorry.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you
I'm
apologize.
perfectly normal.
Yeah.
When we went to Edmonton, we mentioned that we went to the Fluvog store, and in all the boxes of shoes that everybody bought, and for Michelle, who didn't buy any, they gave them little stickers that said, embrace the weirdness, you know, don't be afraid to be yourself, even if it's weird, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
I didn't get any of those.
That's because they
It's 'cause I'm
knew
the
you were
normal one.
crazy enough that you didn't need a reminder.
No. Anyway, that's my dyeing. And then today I'm going to start on a new line in the MCN base, but I'm going to start on the variegated stuff today. So it'll be fun. Change up to something different. So yeah.
This.
Yes.
Okay. We have been forgetting something that we were supposed to do months and...
No, not months ago. It was May.
Okay.
It got released in May.
Okay.
3 podcasts we've been wanting to do this.
This lovely, lovely cowl that Ange knit and I get to take home. It is the Agent 99 cowl by Dawn Mawaer. I am terrible at pronouncing names. It is fabulous. I love it. It's a cowl but it sits perfectly.
And it's so
and it
soft
fills
and
in that
drapey.
gap when you know,
Close your coat.
close your coat and
In case you don't speak Cindy language, this is close your coat.
yes. So Dawn was nice enough to donate a pattern for one of you guys, and we kept forgetting.
Sorry.
Because brains.
Yeah.
It's Sunday when we podcast. Our brains aren't on. Oh my goodness, it's hot.
It's a little warm today.
Whew,
And
little too hot for cashmere.
Merino and cashmere is a
Merino
little warm.
cashmere. Yeah. It's lovely though. So we have a pattern for one of you guys. So we're gonna make a thread on Ravelry, and anyone can enter. All you have to do is just tell us your favorite pattern, or one you've been knitting lately that you really like, or whatever, anything like that.
We'll put up the thread later today. And
So it'll be
leave
up before.
Leave it open till next...
Before the next podcast, right before the next podcast. So
Okay.
June 30th. Midnight, June 30th.
That doesn't make sense.
Yes, we next podcast on Canada Day. Canada Day.
Okay.
Canada Day.
All right. So we will close the thread on June 30th in the evening
Yes.
on our time, so Pacific Standard Time. Pacific...
Well,
Time.
we're actually Mountain Standard Time, but we're on Pacific Time right now.
Yeah.
We don't change
So,
because we're unusual.
in every way. Is it mean that I want to steal her sock?
Sorry. I was really, really tired before we started this, and I was like, am I going to have the energy to make it through this?
And then you turned on the camera
And
you're
then
like,
I just,
podcasting.
yeah, and then I'm like, oh. Okay.
Anyway,
Rainbow.
so, yeah, just post about
Yeah.
your favorite pattern or one
And
that
then
you've
we'll do a
knit
draw,
lots.
and then Dawn will send you the pattern. Because she's awesome.
And
Oh, sorry, Dawn Mayer, from Codependent Knitters, I should say.
yes.
Yes.
And she
Mar.
posted.
Mar. I keep saying Mayer,
Yeah,
but I'm
there's
pretty
no
sure
Y.
it's Mar. Mar? I'm sorry. I'm so bad with names.
I'm so sorry, Dawn. She actually was talking about the cowl on her last podcast, and they were talking about how they added a new one that was a striped one to their pattern picture, and it was Liz's, a lady
cool.
from our knit night.
Yeah.
So that was kind of fun.
Yeah,
It's
she did.
kind of funny to, like, the knitting world is so small.
Yeah.
You know, they're in Sarnia, Ontario, and which is southern Ontario, and we're in northern BC and across the country.
We're
and
still Canadian.
Yeah. But it's fun.
Canada's
make
a
those
large
connections.
country, but a small nation. Does that make sense? It's a small community.
Small community.
Okay.
Yeah, sounds better that way. Anyway, so that was the cowl. What else? Oh, questions. We have a thread on Ravelry open for I'm being bounced. We have a thread open on Ravelry on our group for questions you might have for us. And one came in this week, not on that thread, but in, I think it was on the podcast comments, about the spinning lap blanket I had mentioned. So I'm just going to grab that.
I'm not crazy. Really, I really am. You can ask us why we're crazy. Yeah, that's good.
There's no
That's good.
answer. So this is my lap blanket. It was made by a friend in the Sweeties group. And so it's just
awesome.
a quilted fabric. It's a nice smooth fabric. And so this part I lay across my lap, and it's got pockets to hang, like your... She's playing peekaboo. It's got pockets on both ends to put like your combs or your orifice hook in or anything you need for while you're...
Orifice hook does not sound good.
It is a spinning thing.
It sounds very bad.
It's the hook you use to pull the yarn out of the orifice in your yarn.
Orifice is just a bad word. Did you know that? It just sounds
I'm
dirty.
so sorry. Anyway, it's also reversible.
Jana would agree with me. Yes, and it's got pockets on both sides.
Pockets on both sides. So I love it because if I'm spinning...
If she gets one side filthy... Sorry. Fuzzy.
If I'm spinning a light fabric, I put the dark side up so that I can see the yarn because it's a good contrast while I'm looking down at it. And if I'm spinning a dark fabric, I put the light side up and so you can see better as well as it trapping all the like flyaways and stuff. And
fabric.
It's nice to have the tools right at your hand, like so everything's with you. And it's lovely. I love it. It's fairly heavy so it doesn't slide off my lap and it's big enough to cover the whole thing even though I have a rather large thigh and lap. So it's great. I would highly recommend it. If you don't have one and know someone who sews or sew yourself, it's a great thing.
Oh, people that sew are impressive.
Yeah.
I can't sew. Well, I can sew. I just...
And she did lots of cool, like just additional stitching that isn't really required, but just to make it pretty, and it's really lovely. I use it a lot. It sits on my chair by my spinning wheel all the time. Well, except when it's on my lap, but yeah. And then I did some spinning this week too.
She spun.
We're getting geared up for the Tour de Fleece.
We are.
We,
I'm not. I don't spin.
Me and spinners
And spinners.
everywhere.
When does it start?
When the Tour de France starts.
When's that?
When the Tour de France starts. It's 3 weeks in July. So it's coming up.
Oh, we have a book called 3 Weeks in July.
Yeah.
That makes sense now.
Anyway, I spun some, it's a mixed wool breeds by Louet. It's the Northern Lights fiber. I still had some in my stash from ages ago. The colorway is called Rainbow. Not sure why, because there's no blue and the green is more olivey and there's no orange, although you do get some between the red and the yellow. But I really like, it's just bright and wild and it'll make a really fun, I'm going to Barbo pole it, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Because I think it'll make really bright, high contrast, fun yarn. So I spun this in one day.
Wow.
I sat down at the wheel last night and spun it.
Wow.
Like it just went so fast. I always love the Louet spins. They're just fun, easy spins. They do.
It's the finger roving, right?
Yeah, well, they called it pencil roving originally.
Pencil roving, that's what.
But it's not roving. It's top. It's just divided up the size of a pencil roving, so it's really open and easy to draft, and it's super quick. So I'm really pleased with this one, and I will probably have it done by the next podcast. I sense a sock coming out of my ear.
Oh, I have a pretty hat.
Tit for tat.
It would work. It would work much better like that. Yes, I can balance it. So, this will keep me serious. I have to... What is next on the list? Oh! We're to Culture Consumed, which is our... Wow, this is a quick podcast.
It
Even
is.
though I'm being a moron. Yeah, because I didn't have a whole lot of knitting or anything to show off.
It's weird that I had more than you did. Mm-hmm. Some of it's being frogged, but I actually, I do have some plans though before we hit Culture Consumed. Sure. I had shown a couple of weeks ago a sock that I was knitting out of the Demon Hunter colorway of the Black Cat Knits Everyday Sock, and I loved how it was looking. Oh, here.
That's right here.
I got it. It's this one.
I'm faster.
I love it. It's a beautiful colorway and it knit up so gorgeous and there's so many different shades in there. But then I started thinking, I've been working on my loom and getting it all oiled up and protecting the wood because it's really dry climate here. It needs it especially
so dry.
Drastically. But then I started thinking about this woven and how gorgeous it would be.
Yeah.
So I'm going to weave with either the black so that this is the pop or this so that this is the darker pop. I haven't quite decided yet, but I have a couple of drafts kind of lined up depending on which way I go. I think if I do this one, it'll just be a plain, like just a plain weave.
Yep.
But this one, I've got a couple more intricate weaves that I think would look great with those two. So yeah, I think I'm gonna warp up the loom this week. Well, I'm gonna warp up Cindy's loom because I don't have mine done, and I'm really itching to do this. So
That's cool.
and then I'll get mine done soon. So, but I've really been in the mood for weaving lately, and the knitting, like for a while the knitting mojo was there, and it's just not right now.
Aww.
But it's fine. Like, I'm enjoying the little projects.
It's because her sweater faltered.
Yeah.
She was really
I was
going to town on the
really
sweater.
enjoying it, and then
Whereas I've just been like knit with my sock. Yeah. That's my knitting motion. Can't you tell?
it's hard
easier
with
with
the socks on your
knit, knit,
hands. Anyway, yeah.
Knit. That's how I knit.
You don't knit that fast. You
No,
do
I
knit
really
faster
don't.
than I do,
I
but
really
not
don't knit
that fast.
Oh, I wish. Anyway, yeah. So, that's all our knitting.
Yeah. Well, why don't we go on to Culture Consumed?
Yeah.
If you are here just for the knitting, sorry, it's a little short and extra crazy
I'm sure
today.
it's not
And,
extra crazy. I'm crazy every week.
And we'll see you next time. And if not, stick around for Culture Consumed, where we'll talk about probably
really.
a little bit of everything else. Why don't you start, Culture?
Oh, okay. I read a very, very, very good book. Called "A Fire and Stars" by Audrey Coulthurst. Is fabulous. Teen fantasy. Just a really cool world building. Yeah. Amazing book.
I like that. Like when the world draws you in.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. Of course, and then I go to Goodreads and I put that I read it, and I see reviews by people who are like, the world building was terrible. And I was like, did we read the same book? I really, really loved it. It just came into the store, and then I was like, ooh, that looks cool. And then I read the blurb and was like, must read. So that happens a lot.
Yeah, I was going to say that's the book I'm reading too right now.
Yeah. I highly recommend it, especially if you like teen fantasy. It's not, I don't know, it's not the typical teen fantasy.
It's not a vampire romance?
There's no vampires.
Or a dying girl with cancer.
Yeah. Really good. Really good. What about you?
I brought home a book from the store too. I didn't bring it into the store this week because I showed it last week, but it's Michio Kaku's Parallel Worlds, and I'm really enjoying the read. It's a little more dated than I realized, but it's really, really good. And we got in Brian Greene
That you hadn't read.
that I hadn't read this week, and he's my favorite science guy.
And
so,
the library audiobooks has Michio Kaku's one of his new ones, so it would be much less dated.
Yeah.
So.
I tend to, like, I'm not a scientist by any stretch, but I tend to read a lot of science blogs.
You have
and
a pretty good understanding.
A lot of science podcasts and science vids and documentaries and stuff. So, you know, when they're talking about whether the energy of empty space is dark energy or not, and I'm like, but this is old. I was watching it, right?
Yeah.
So, anyway, but it's a really good read. His writing style's good. He's not quite as funny as Brian Greene. I don't know if everybody else would call Brian Greene funny, but I can picture him snickering as he writes some of his lines, because I think it's just a similar sense of humor to mine.
Yeah.
So, but I'm really enjoying it, and it's really good. So, yeah.
And I've been listening to some audiobooks because I wanted to knit, and I didn't have a TV show that was. I know, exactly. I didn't have a TV show that was like must watch, all consuming. Yeah. So I listened to Cater Sheet Hangman by Anne Perry, and so last podcast I'd been talking about her new series, and this was like her very first book, and I just went back and listened to it. I've read it before, and it's a favorite. So. I re-listened to that one, and then I listened to Frog Kisser by Garth Nix. It even has an exclamation mark in the title by Garth Nix. Garth Nix has been writing kids fantasy for years, and he's excellent. But this one was really, really fun. Just, you know,
I haven't read any of his.
I think you might like Newt's Emerald. It was really good. It's kind of fantasy, but with a Regency touch. This one was like not little kids, like kind of young reader age, and good fantasy with a kick-ass princess. So
That sounds good.
yeah, yeah, he's good at kick-ass princesses. Yeah, I really enjoyed them.
Well, I went on. We talked about how her default when she's finished watching a show is go find everything else that they've been in.
Yeah.
And
I did not.
And she didn't do that. But then we were listing off some shows that we thought of, and I got on a, so and so is on this show, and then they were on this show, and then and I got to Primeval and said how I love that. So I went and found Primeval, my favorite rabbit hole. It's horribly cheesy, and I love it, and I love Ben Miles. I think anybody who's smart enough to be a physicist.
Not Ben Miles.
No, Ben. Crap, I always get their names mixed up. Ben Miles was the guy on Coupling. That's why this came up. Ben, I want to say Miller.
He's not a Ben. Yeah, Ben Miller.
Yeah,
Ben Miller.
Ben Miller. He was a physicist, trained as a physicist, like went to CERN for his honeymoon.
Yeah.
That's the super collider. And yet chose to be an actor, and he plays a really good British bureaucrat
Yes, he does.
in this show, and it's just like he is every stereotype you can imagine about a British bureaucrat, and it's fabulous. But the typical bureaucrat doesn't deal well with dinosaurs coming from the past millions of years ago into modern city London.
Yeah.
Modern day London. So it's a lot of fun. And I really love, so the main actor.
I don't know. I've never watched Primeval. Not my. Oh, I did watch one episode.
The books, the mysteries, the Shetland. Who's the main actor? I knew this. Douglas Henschel. I know this so well that I didn't write it down.
Yeah.
Silly me. But I found it because of Douglas Henschel, and then started watching it and just loved it. Loved it.
You found it because of him? No, you found it because it was dinosaurs and...
Yeah, possibly, but...
Because you were watching Shetland and going, this guy looks really familiar.
No, that was Golly. I knew Douglas Henschel was him. Anyway, I'm really enjoying it. I've watched, the first 3 seasons already this week. It's great.
Yeah. I've got to find something new to watch.
Yeah. You got a couple of suggestions on the podcast. Have you tried any of those yet? Or
no,
you just finished your
haven't.
audiobooks first?
I was listening to my audiobooks, and some of them weren't available on our streaming services.
Yeah.
And I really have to be in the right mood for something. I'm in the mood for Wonderfalls, but I lent my DVDs.
She said she'll bring them back.
Yes, and I told her that I was in the mood, and she was like, okay.
Text her
I'll bring them
tonight
back.
so that she doesn't forget.
Lent them to Dano about 3 years ago. I'm really in the mood for that. I'm kind of in the mood for silly...
Have you talked about Wonderfalls? It's a fabulous Canadian show, and saying that it's a Canadian show...
It's not actually a Canadian show. It
has a Canadian show vibe.
Every actor is Canadian. It has Lee Pace before he got big. It has Mouth Breather. Can't remember his name, but he was then on Eureka. It's got excellent actors.
It does.
Who I can't think of their names. But anyway, the premise of the show is this.
Michelle? No, it doesn't.
No. Anyway, no, it doesn't.
No.
Anyway, the premise of the show is this, 20-something Gen Y, who went and got her degree and then ended up living in a trailer and working in retail, which I kind of...
in Niagara Falls, hence
in Niagara
the
Falls,
Wonderfalls.
Wonderfalls. I kind of identified with, because, 2 degrees and... Well, I mean, now I run my own shop, but I worked in retail for many, many years.
Yeah.
And the premise is that one day animals, well, not real animals, like stuffed animals and things like that, start talking to her.
Anything inanimate that had a face
That
of
has
an
animal face, yeah. Yes, and they start telling her to do things. And they make her life miserable if she doesn't do them. And it is hilarious.
It's really funny and lighthearted.
And of course, it was on Fox, so it was canceled after 4 episodes. But they had already filmed them all, so they put them out on DVD. The people involved in making it are excellent, and they were involved with Firefly. One of them was.
You should not chew on somebody else's needle.
Sorry. I need something to fiddle with.
Sorry, Cheryl. We'll buy you a new one.
She doesn't watch the podcast. I think her daughter-in-law does, so.
Okay.
Hi!
Hi, Jen. Say sorry to Cheryl.
No, it's okay. I'm gonna get some. I'll give her mine. Yeah, it's excellent.
Yeah. And I just love, like, the very first one.
Brian Fuller. That's the name of the guy who produced it.
I just love the very first one. She thinks she's going crazy because she sees these little things talking to her, and she's like, I can't be going crazy. And she was a philosophy major, and or an English major. No, philosophy.
Yeah.
And
that's the cover. Everybody should watch it.
yeah,
It's fab.
but she thinks she's going crazy,
Oh, God.
and she's miserable.
It's from 2004. I feel really old.
You are old.
Wow.
And she wants to just ignore it because she can't give in to it because it's just going to make her miserable, make her seem more crazy. And so she ignores it, and then, like, it just keeps popping up everywhere, and things are singing to her, anything with a face, like, just, she can't get any rest. So finally she decides, okay, fine, I'm going to do it. But they're very cryptic, like, you know, they'll give her a clue that she has to interpret.
Like, follow the quarter or whatever. And
Yeah, or, you know, write on red or whatever.
Yeah.
And she has to interpret what that means, and they get more vocal about it if she's not
It's
getting
fabulous.
it. But then it's like step one towards a, 23-step, very convoluted plan that gets to the right ending, but you never would have thought of it from the first step. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so I think we're done.
I think so.
Did you have anything else?
No, I think that's it. I'm gonna, if any of you are interested in the Tour de Fleece, definitely check out, I think there hasn't been enough interest in our group to do our own team, but definitely check out the Tour de Sweets. The group on Ravelry is called Sweets Off the Wheel. It's a great one, and it's very active. Also, just the general Tour de Fleece group on Ravelry is very, very active. It's hard to keep up sometimes, which is why I prefer the separate groups. And I'll be spinning along, so if you're spinning along, I'd love to chat with you. Comment on the podcast and show us pictures of what you're working on, or in the group.
Instagram?
Or on Instagram, yeah. We'd love to hear from you. So, and on that creepy note, cheesy grins and all.
Yeah.
See ya!